Okay guys, I'm back. Now, like I said, now the last person I mentioned was Willow, and I mentioned exactly why it's very similar. You see, these past three examples kind of gives you an idea that even though the writers of a cartoon or a manga, or even one of the most popular teen television series in history, will say, okay, this is how this character is going to be going forward, it doesn't mean it's forever. That's the thing. They just say this is how it's going to be for the character going forward, but they don't mean forever. Now, I've even used sports teams for an example. One sports team I used was the Washington Redskins. Now, no offense to any Redskins fans out there. I know your team's a great team, there's no doubt about it. But I said that they kind of changed their look a little bit. In 2002, according to this, it said that the team celebrated 70 years since its creation as the Boston Braves in 1932, and wore a special home uniform of burgundy, I guess that's how you pronounce it, burgundy jersey over gold pants, which roughly resembled the home uniforms used from 1969 to 1978. Now they say, this is where it really where fans really didn't take too much of a liking to it, even though it was a homage, if you will, to the 1965-1969 team. That is, they wore the helmets used with the special home uniform during that year were a reproduction of the helmets used by the team from 65 to 69. And as you can see, that didn't last long, but for one season. So in other words, the people in charge of the Redskins said even though they were going to put these helmets on to celebrate, there's no doubt they would have said this is the logo we're going to go with now going forward, right? And what happened? Didn't last but one season. Now, I even said that retail stores and companies have done this. They have said that the new logo will be the logo going forward. A prime example of that is Gap. This is one of the best examples I got. Gap, take a look at this. It says here, they released the new logo, I don't know when this article was printed, last year or a few years ago. Or basically not that long ago. And it was a huge disaster. The old logo was well loved and familiar to all, used for more than 2 decades. The dark blue square with the familiar serif white font was well loved and familiar, almost homey. Gap's mistake was radically changing everything. The logo was designed by Laird and Partners, in an effort to create a more contemporary and modern expression. Now this is I'm going to quote. This is the guy. Now I'm quoting basically the guy that wrote this. I don't know what his name is, but he says personally, he, like many others, thought the new logo was not that great. It looks more like a clip art from Microsoft than a contemporary modern logo. In other words, he's saying that the original logo, which we now have again, was more contemporary than what they were trying to go for. Now he says he was not alone in this opinion. There was a great public outcry when it was released online, major backlash and criticism poured on Gap's Facebook and Twitter page. Some harsh criticisms included, looks like a child made it, a joke, and amateur. It only gets worse. Gap chose to remain silent about the controversy. When they finally responded, it added more fuel to the fire. Gap tried to handle its blunder by covering the whole thing up. Gap posted on their official Facebook thanking everyone for their input on the logo. They are thrilled to see a passionate debate unfolding, and asked the online community to share their designs. They ended the statement with, "We love our version, but we would like to see other ideas." People were laughing with disbelief over Gap's response. They dismissed their error as so-called social experiment and still had the nerve to ask designs from others. The story ends with Gap ditching the new logo and returning to the old one. Gap president Marquez Hansen was fired by execs weeks after the failed redesign episode. Moral of the story: don't mess with a loved brand and image valued at $4 million. As the old adjective says, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. In other words, this example here is exactly how some fans feel about what this head writer, Ian, has done to the character. It's basically they're saying, hey, if she ain't broke, don't fix it. Or basically, if she's fine, she is fine, or basically this character is fine the way they are, don't mess with them. That's the way a lot of people look at them. Now here's what I tried saying at the end of the topic, after I added some of this stuff. I said, even though the head writer said certain character will be in certain situation going forward, doesn't mean it's forever. As you can see on the top of the topic, that's the title of this. Just for the upcoming story arc, and possibly as an editor, as the EIC, I like to call this person, said, and possibly as the EIC said, to deal with her story, or possibly deal with their story, or possibly becoming themselves again, but learning to cope with the situation they were put in, and probably trying to find a way to undo it. Perhaps a story arc in a certain spin-off comic will be done to coincide with it, but who knows? But going forward doesn't mean permanent or temporary. It overall means just for the time being, not forever. Now, you can watch this two-part video, part one and then this part, and say to yourself, he doesn't know what he's talking about, it doesn't make any sense, you know, the guy's just trying to rant and everything and try to hide his real feelings. The truth is, folks, I have grown past that. I'm still a fan of the comic book this character is in. But it does not mean I don't have an opinion. In my opinion, like I said, is in that third party. Basically the third party that looks at it in a positive perspective. That looks at it and says to themselves, this is not going to last forever. This is only permanent. This is not going to last forever. It's not permanent. It's just for the time being. It's not temporary. Well, actually, in a way it is, but not. We don't know how long of temporariness it is, but it's just for the time being. As you read there, like I said, I'm pretty sure a lot of people that came up with a lot of those decisions, including the Netflix Quickster deal, all said the same thing, that this was the way things were going to be going forward. And what happened? Things changed. When Sailor Moon came out and they did what they did with Cherubi Yusei and turned her into the Black Lady, Wicked Lady, they said it was for the time. They probably said, this is how Cherubi Yusei is going to be. Cherubi Yusei. I'm pretty sure those that worked on the manga and the anime said, okay, we got to get to a certain point and go forward, or with Cherubi Yusei being the Black Lady / Wicked Lady. But they never said it was a permanent situation, did they? They never said it was, but nor did they say it was temporary. They probably just said we're going to go forward with that. They just didn't give no timeline. See, that's the trick. That's the trick. That's the key. a timeline. No one really knows what timeline is of when it's going to be over with, or if it's ever going to be announced that, yeah, this is the way it's going to be from now on. I mean, take a look at the whole situation I talked about the Gap deal. Fans outcry. Now, I'm not saying this is the similar situation, but we'll have to just sit back, wait and see. But still, if this is a similar, if this does, which I don't really know if it will, I'm pretty sure some out there will seriously doubt it will, but even if this does go into that same category, this situation, I'm sure a lot of the fans, I'm sure something's going to be done. I'm sure the head writer will be told by the people in charge, look, we know probably be told like, look, we know you tried this, we know you tried to do this, but man, we're getting this outcry, we're getting flooded, you know, things like that. So, but again, going forward doesn't mean forever. Again, listen to the examples I used. And, you know, honestly, that's all I can really say. I just don't think it's forever. The situation with this character by this head writer, Ian, is not forever. So, comment down below, tell me what you guys think. Respond if you want to. MJ Knight, you know, respond if you want to. Sonic Comic World, Comic Review, whatever. You know, respond if you guys want to. Lewis the Hedgehog, respond if you guys want to. Tell me what you guys think. Do a video response if you want to. I don't care. Just, you know, whatever. Comment down below. And I'll talk to you all later.